Welcome to Lair the Alchemist, where we discuss all things heavy metal and hard rock. On today's episode, a review of the new Raven album, Metal City. This is the 14th studio album from the legendary new wave of British heavy metal band Raven, who were once described as athletic rock. And this album just comes out swinging and pummels you for the whole length of the record. This is a great slab of classic, old school, high energy British heavy metal. The band features the Gallagher brothers, John Gallagher on bass and lead vocals, and Mark Gallagher on guitar, as well as new drummer Mike Heller, who makes his studio debut on this album. Now, this album, it sounds amazing. The playing on it is just amazing. The recording quality is great. I only just started listening to it today. It just came out today. So all I have right now is on my Amazon Music HD. So I was streaming it in 24-bit, 48 quality. And the production is great. You can hear all the instruments. It's super punchy. A special shout out to how great the bass sounds on this record and how great the bass playing is. I've always liked John Gallagher as a bass player. Man, he is a criminally underrated bass player in the world of metal. His bass sounds great on this, and he's all over this record. Fills, bass solos. It's just great. Please take note out there for people, producers and engineers, whatever. This is how you record a bass because it just sounds great. You can hear everything he's playing. Fantastic. So often in this this type of music, heavy metal, and especially fast heavy metal, the bass can often really get lost. Not on this record. It is right there. The guitars sound great. The drums sound great. Fantastic. So let's get into the album. The power. It comes ripping out of your speakers. I mean, just from 0 to 100, right out of the gate. Strike at the heart of the beast. Great line in the song. Super catchy. It's got these acrobatic vocals from John Gallagher where he just like keeps going up and up and up into the stratosphere. He's got a really cool voice. He has such a huge range, and he shows it off all over this record. And in this song especially, it just goes way up high. It's got this cool distorted bass and guitar kind of a trade-off thing where the guitar plays a little lead line and then the bass plays a lead line. And like I mentioned, the bass sounds great on this, and he's got all kinds of like solo stuff on it. You're gonna hear as we talk through some more of these songs. Top of the Mountain. It comes out another big metal blaster, over-the-top vocals that in the verse, they just keep going up and up and up. Just absolutely great. He sounds fantastic. Great guitar solo, and then a distorted bass solo, just fantastic. Really fast and chopsy with these like big bends, all over in the bass parts. John plays the bass like just aggressive with all these bends. It's just really cool. Keeps the energy moving in the song. There's especially this really cool part. It's in, it's like right kind of around when the last verse starts, where he does like these bass harmonics and they're just like come screaming out. Awesome. Great chorus in this song. It's got some layered vocals and like a super high voice on the top. Human Race was one that I really, really liked. It's another fast thrash-like number. It's got a catchy chorus with the guitar chords just sort of hang out while the drums are going just crazy underneath them. Shout out to Mike Heller, man. His drumming on this is great, man. The drum fills, and like in this song, when the chorus kicks in, the guitars just hang on these chords, and he's playing like this real busy like drum part underneath it. Just totally works. Very, very cool. And then it goes into this super cool metal section. It drops down into like this halftime kind of triplet-y and jun, 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 jun feel. thing with that starts off with this repeated delay thing in the vocal where he does this, you meant raise, 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 which I love that. I love when bands do that. And man, it just, this whole section. Now, this is how I typically listen to new things. Every day I go for a walk in the morning, a pretty long walk, and so this just came out today. I put the headphones on. I've got my Amazon Music HD, great quality, and I'm out listening to this. And when that section kicked in the song, man, I mean, I was just like, yeah, I had my hands up in the air. I'm going like this, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, there's probably some neighbor looking out at their window at me thinking, what is wrong with this lunatic? But I couldn't help myself. When that section kicks in the song and it drops down like that, it is so classic metal. I was just like, yes, this is awesome. I absolutely loved it. Super, super cool. All right, and then it has a surprising, like, it shifts, like the key sort of shifts to like a major key shift, and there's sort of this uplifting guitar melody, which is just a great sort of little curveball in that song. The title track, Metal City, starts with this single note kind of bluesy, heavy riff, then goes into a chugging riff in the verse. It's got a big uplifting 80s style chorus. This is Metal City, where it's got a lot of like gang vocal type things. It just sort of has this uplifting thing. Makes me think very 80s style. A nice melodic guitar solo. The guitar solos on this record are also really great. They're a great, from Mark Gallagher, they're a great combination of fast energy things, but also melody, and the guitar rhythm sounds great, and the leads sound great also. So the guitar solo on this one is really cool because it kind of like quotes like a little bit of the melodies from like the verse and the chorus of the song. Really cool. And then there's like some other like little shifts and key changes and stuff that's really, really neat. Battle Scarred, super cool bass riff right before the first verse comes in. He does this crazy like bass fill thing leading into the first verse, which is just great. All for one and one for all, the battle rages on forever. Great, just classic metal style lyrics. This is another one where the middle, this has another like gear change sort of shift where the middle section breaks into this almost prog-ish like triplet feel Iron Maiden-ish riff. Another bass solo. I love it. I'm a bass player myself, so man, bass just all over this record, man. If you're a bass player, you're gonna love it. It's got like some sort of like, I don't know, flanger, phaser effect or something on it, which is really neat. There's an awesome part of the vocals then where where he just goes, go, like everything stops, go, and then it goes and breaks into this like mosh pit Anthrax style riff. Now Raven is a band that, you know, they get associated with the new wave of British heavy metal, and they do have that element to their sound, but they also have a real it's thrashy, but I kind of feel like it's more like a speed metal. It's just like aggressive, fast metal. It isn't so like thrashy like you might hear with Megadeth or, you know, something like that. Although there's moments of that on this record, and this particular part right here, where it just, you can just picture a mosh pit just sort of exploding with this sort of Anthrax style riff, and then there's these chanting vocals at the end, like oh yeah, that sort of take it out, which is great. Cybertron starts off with this weird sort of like guitar effect thing, and brings it in to this like robotic style riff, a real snarling vocal over this sort of start-stop riff in the verse. Has this, the vocal part, there's this cool sort of weird vocal part in the pre-chorus, chorus section. It goes, it's no illusion, where he like, just brings a nightmare conclusion, where he like spreads his voice up really high. I don't remember. I've listened to it about 3 times today because I just love it, but I don't have everything completely ingrained in my memory to totally sing it to you just yet, but it's just great the things he does with his voice. Again, the best way I can describe his vocals is acrobatic. He'll just be singing it, just like leap up into a really high range or just slide up to a really high note. Really cool. Motorheadin' it's another blaster. And at this point, this might be my only complaint about this album is that it gets a little fatiguing. Like I remember when Motorheadin' kicked in. Now we are 7, 8, 7. This is the 7th song on the album, I think, and it's sort of that same really upbeat, fast tempo stuff. And like I mentioned from the beginning, this album just comes out swinging and just pummels you. Does not let you come up for air really for pretty much the whole. There's brief moments where, like in some of these spots where it drops down into these triplet feel things where you can sort of catch your breath for a second, but it is mostly just pedal to the metal the whole time. And that's kind of what Raven is known for. I think I mentioned earlier they were once described as athletic rock, and that is probably fitting for this because it is just, man, it is a workout, man, because it's so much high energy and just so much stuff going on. Not So Easy has a cool lyric. Everybody loves when the circus comes to town. You say you're the ringleader, but maybe you're the clown. That's great. A song called Break. It's another aggressive thrashy number with a nice guitar solo break and has sort of an Iron Maiden style harmony thing. And then another one of my really favorite songs is the last song on the record, the 10th song, When Worlds Collide. So it starts off with like a sound effect intro with these distant drums, which reminds me a little bit of Raining Blood with Slayers go boom, 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 sort of drum thing off in the distance. Then it kicks into this heavy, doomy type riff, and then it moves into a real kind of Black Sabbath, like Zero the Hero, maybe sped up a little bit style riff. It's got these hanging chords where everything sort of stops and the vocals sing in the verse and then everything kicks back in. It's a really cool, like a slide guitar. I don't know if I'd really call it a solo, but a little part that comes in after the choruses. And the choruses here are really heavy in this one. And I think that there's some kind of effect on the guitar or the bass, like an octave thing. I don't know what it is, but it just has a real like thick, heavy sound. I don't have, I was just listening to it on streaming today. I fully plan on buying the vinyl for this because it's just great. So I didn't have any real production notes, but the production on this is just really great, man. Really thick and full. There's great drum fills all throughout this song. Really cool song. And in some ways, I mentioned earlier when we got to Motorheading that my only complaint with the record is that it's a little fatiguing. It's a little bit much when everything is sort of the same, and when Worlds Collide is sort of this different feel. It's a little bit slower. It's got some different things in it, and I kind of wish there was maybe like one more number like that on this record because they sound great playing these sort of what would be for them a slow song, which for everybody else is, probably a mid-tempo song. But it sounds great when they kick in on these more heavy, Sabbathy, doomy style riffs. So I kind of wished that maybe there was another song like that on this record. But overall, it's just a great record. And it is a great throwback, old school, high energy, classic, get your denim vest out, get your studded wristband on, get your hands up in the air. I mean, it is just great, old school. It's got all those elements of that little bit of, British, new wave of British heavy metal dialed up fast and dialed up to 11. It's got some pseudo kind of thrashy parts in it. Great guitar playing. I keep talking about the bass playing. I can't say it enough. It's great on this record. So, man, if you're a fan of like this old school type stuff, you're absolutely going to love this. But it's done. The production is really great. It doesn't sound, it has a modern style production to it. Great playing all around. If you're a guitar player, bass player, drummer, you're going to love the playing all over this. So, great album. It's out on Steamhammer, SPV. Check it out, man. I'm assuming it's out there on vinyl and CD It's on all the streaming services, I'm sure. So check it out. Great album, old school classic metal. Get your vest out, get your studded wristband on, bang your head till your neck is sore. You're gonna love it. Crank it up. Great album. All right, so there you go. Raven, Metal City. Let me know what you think in the comments if you've heard this album yet. If you haven't heard this album yet, after you hit like and subscribe, go listen to it. Go buy it. So make sure you hit like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until we see you again, make sure you stay heavy, stay metal.